Are you ready to wake up and dream? Yes, you heard that right. Dreaming at night is overrated. The real magic happens when you wake up.
This is the Wake Up and Dream podcast with your hosts,
Lisa,
Kelly,
and Sarah. We share a vision of helping women ask hard questions and feel empowered to begin designing their life instead of going through the motions unaware and unfulfilled.
Join us each week as we cover topics that will help you figure out your desires, goals, and how to make them happen. You will feel encouraged, supported, and motivated to reimagine a life of limitless possibilities.
So get ready to create a life that makes you want to jump out of bed and truly live the life that you deserve and love. So let's get started. Welcome to Wake Up and Dream. I am your host, Lisa Taylor, and we are in the middle of a summer side gig series. And I am so excited about this interview because this gal has really, she is the poster child for Wake Up and Dream, in my opinion, because she has taken such a leap of faith to say yes to a side gig in direct sales. And I can't wait for you to hear her story from her. So let me introduce to you my good friend and leader, Executive Manager, Shawna Bellamy. Welcome, Shawna.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. It's an amazing opportunity.
Awesome. So first, I want the audience to kind of get a picture of what life was like for you, a little bit about your family, what you were doing when this opportunity to say yes to a side gig with the direct sales company, LeBri Pure and Natural. Just paint that picture. What was life like for you prior to this?
Okay, so that was about 7 years ago. I'm a homeschooling mom of 4 kids. My husband was our sole provider, and he does construction work, so self-employed, so all the things that go with that. Things were really tight, and I was just kind of coming out of like a lot of baby years. So overall, very shy, very reclusive, almost, to just really immersed in baby life. And financially, though, we were definitely struggling. The reason I actually went ahead and joined was for the kit, because it was the cheapest and best deal. And I was like, if I can get these products for free, then I can justify that, because that's kind of the mindset of everything, is how cheap, how frugally can we do this? That was constantly in my mind.
Yeah.
And so that was where we were at.
And as a homeschool mom, this was a dream of yours to be able to be home and homeschool your kids. So that came with a sacrifice. And, you guys did that, but I'm sure there was a lot of just undergirding pressure to stay within your means, and there wasn't a lot of money to do fun things or extra things. It was, nose to the grindstone, and let's see how far we can make this one income go to meet the needs of our family.
Yes, very much so.
So the stress of that, I'm just envisioning, because I share that story with you in the fact that we also homeschooled and we lived on one income. So I know how that feels like to not feel. I remember going to Walmart and looking at just a shirt, $5 shirt for myself. And I would be like, no, I don't need that. I don't need that, right? It's not a necessity, even though I'd love to have a new white $5 shirt. it just wasn't going to happen, without me feeling really guilty for spending something on myself.
Yes.
So then let's transition to, like, many people that we've met, that I've had conversations with, maybe they've tried direct sales. Maybe they have a bad taste in their mouth because, they had an experience where they either joined and had to really, sell, and the pressure to do all of that was there. Or, they were on the receiving end where, you get all these spammy messages from a direct seller that's just started and you're like, oh my gosh, I am like so over all of that. Right. And it's sad because it just takes a couple people like that in your whole life to kind of put that bad taste in your mouth. So did you have a bad taste in your mouth for direct sales, or where were you on this? Like, I want the kit for the discount, but like, give us an idea of what was going through your head when you really said yes.
Yeah. So we call it the famous phone call because it was such a, like, after that, so much changed in our lives. But I called my husband. I was like, there's this kit. It could be my birthday. I think it would help cleanse skin. And I was like, and it might be something, because I liked the idea of direct sales. I had done a few things and not really done much with them. So my thought really was get my stuff for free, like share it with a few people, be able, like, that's as big as I could really dream at the time. But that was a big dream to me. Like, that was a good goal. You don't get that chance at Walmart. So but I was very impressed with LeBry's that you didn't have to have a minimum, because I had done one before where you had to have a minimum and they really encouraged having a lot of stock. And that felt a lot of pressure to me as a mom with littles, because sometimes I didn't have time to do that. Like, that wasn't where I was at. So I loved that there wasn't that. But I liked the idea of direct sales, helping other women, that kind of thing. I just didn't really envision or dream that I could do really well at it. Like, that was not even something I don't think my brain was really, but I was like, it might be something, like maybe a little bit. So that was kind of where I started with, was just a little bit of possibility. And pretty much a lot of my life was just a little bit of possibility.
Oh, I just love that. It's like that seed of faith. Like, it's so tiny, but when we step in and just dip our toe in the water, like, nothing bad's going to happen. And you might just wake up to this amazing opportunity to help your family do way, way, way more than you could ever have thought as that homeschool mom. I love this so much. So I'm curious. I want to dive in a little bit more because, like, specifically, I want you to talk about your skin, because we're going to talk about LeBry. I mean, it's an aloe-based skincare line. It's as natural as a man-made product can be. We don't dilute with water. So as that stay-at-home mom, like, I felt really good and didn't feel ever uncomfortable sharing it, because I was like, these products are going to last you, 4 to 6 months. So literally, like, it's cheaper than the stuff that you're buying that's full of water and chemicals. So that's my thing. But tell us about your experience with the products.
Okay, so yeah, that was, like you had mentioned, the guilt at Walmart for the $5 shirt. This was something I was hoping would help my son's eczema, which it did. And that was the best thing ever, to be a mama of a little one that's struggling and then relieve that struggle. Like, nothing better than that. But then for it to be affordable enough, I could share it with people and be excited about that. And then I had not been taking care of my skin. Like I said, been in mama world so deep. And so starting to use, I didn't think skincare worked because nothing had worked on mine. I kind of thought it was maybe a hoax. So to have it start working, people started asking me what I was doing different. Like, it was such a dramatic change so quickly. That then I got really excited, because the maybe something was before we had tried it and really fallen in love. But once I fell in love with it, like, something that actually worked, that was actually natural enough, I felt comfortable using on my family. and was affordable, like I had to tell everybody. And that's when it kind of went a little crazy. We have this amazing sample program, and I was like, if you just try it, you will never go back. And so I just sampled like crazy. And that's kind of just seeing something work, I think implanted a lot of belief in me. Like, oh my goodness, it really worked. Let's share this with everybody. And like I said, people were seeing the difference in my skin. And so it was really exciting.
I know your before and after picture, like it's pretty dramatic. Let's just call it that. It's not like you
It's
had
great.
a lot of acne, but you're like the Oklahoma wind and heat, and it was clearly like affecting your
A
skin.
lot of sun damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, a lot of sun damage and very sensitive.
okay. So you obviously were seeing a difference in your skin. The sample program, you were getting like so excited that you could share samples. So what I'm hearing you say is that you were shy and you were kind of like, more of an introvert, but these samples and your experience firsthand with your son's eczema and your skin,
Mm-hmm.
it like you put more confidence in the product than yourself, and you didn't need that confidence because really it was the product that you were showcasing.
Yes, very much so. Like I had so much faith in the products really early on. And I was seeing that change with everybody that would try them. Each person that came back saying, I need these, that sample was amazing, just fed that. And then our hostess program on top of that, being able to help people that couldn't afford them be able to get them. I was like, this is like a no-brainer. You can either buy them or you can share them, but it was shocking to me how different it was than the other companies I had shared a little bit of, and just not really. It just was surprising to me how much, like I said, people were wanting it and how easy it was for me as a very shy person to be able to do. So,
I love hearing this because, we think the stereotypical successful businesswoman has to be outgoing, right? Business minded. You don't have a degree in business, I don't think, right? I don't have a degree in business, but yet it was the products that really gave you the confidence and the passion. I think that's the thing. I've been sharing the last couple episodes on, what do you need? What do you want to look for when you're, joining a direct sales company or enrolling? And you really want to have a product that you are passionate about. Like I wouldn't be able to sell bags and get the same results. Like, sorry, I'm not passionate about bags. So now let's transition because this is where like the windows start to open, your mind starts to expand, you think bigger, you start dreaming of the possibilities. Like, when do you think that started to happen as far as what the income potential might be and how that would really have an impact on your family's budget?
yeah. So once I realized that I was able to share the products, like people started either hosting shows or taking those samples, and I was like, okay, I don't I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of, I started plugging in. The company has amazing training and coaching. You were a big part of that, and different groups, everything from mindset. And I feel like that was a huge switch for me. And then also, training about the products, training about how to share them, but then that mindset piece really, it was like they gelled together, and I just saw it actually happening. And part of our compensation plan was to be able to have a vehicle paid for, and that was something we really, really needed. So I had this passion for this product, and I had a really big personal need. I also had this deep deep desire to travel with my kids before they got too big, and they were growing quicker than we were making money. So that vehicle was the key to us being able to travel with our trailer. So I saw that, like I saw, okay, it may not be like a full income. I still couldn't grasp that, but I was like, if it could just pay for that vehicle, then that opens this door. And so it was just a very focused. I made my first dream board, never had a word of the year, never had a dream board, never set goals really, just in my pants trying to keep my kids alive. And, we did like yearly goals kind of for their school, but never for me really. And so that vehicle was the first thing. And when I started looking at all the numbers, that was about the same time you taught me into going to convention, and they launched the next trip earning. And when I was looking at those numbers, seeing if I earn that trip, I'm going to be really close to earning that car, and I'm kind of doing that. And when I realized that, I was sitting at convention and it just hit me. I was like, these things could be for people like me. Like, I could actually, I am doing this. I'm actually doing it. That's when it just all hit. And so,
I have
and I did. I
chills.
earned that trip. I know. I earned that trip and I earned that car. And it was really a full circle moment this last week. I took my son to college, that one that I wanted to hurry up and get that car for those trips. And I was sitting there in that camper, and I was able to spend the whole week getting him settled into college with that camper and that car. And it was just this full circle. When you have those deep desires, it's amazing how this side gig can get you to that. So yeah, I'm going to try not to cry because it was just a really powerful moment sitting there looking at it and thinking, not only did we get to go to the beach their first time, do mountain trips, do all these trips that I wanted to do. We didn't do all the trips I wanted to do because I had a really long list and we're planning on doing more, but I got so many more in than I thought I would ever. And then to have that, to get to go see him and be there, and that enable all of that is just, it's worth everything. But that mindset of being able to see that and see this really could happen, like it's a very powerful thing.
It's a very powerful thing. And I remember when you were at convention and the light bulb was going off like big and bad, you and Mandy, who I hope to interview in August. And it was like, oh my gosh, this is possible. Like, this is not just for, the ones that are doing this full time, or, like, I can still do my full time job of homeschooling, or many consultants hold a full time job and begin this side gig because they really want more, right? They want more opportunities. They want more options. They want more choices. It takes money to be able to do those things. I mean, I wish I could just wave a magic wand and create more choices for people, but you need money. I mean, I didn't really wake up and start dreaming. It was slow, slow, slow. It started out, it was a dishwasher. That was the first thing I put on my dream board, because guess what? Mine busted and I was the main dishwasher when it busted. So I'm like, we are getting a dishwasher. And so that was my motivation. That was my deep desire. Yeah. And I love how flexible Labri is, because it used to be you could win a car or earn a car. You really earn it. And, there were many people that's like, that's not motivating for me, because we already have 2 cars that we love and they're paid for and yada, yada. And so they even have expanded it. So it's just a lifestyle bonus. So yes, if you want to put it towards, a car payment, it will help that tremendously, but you can use it to fund a vacation, or, remodel your kitchen, or whatever you really want and desire. And that's what I love about direct sales, is there's so much flexibility and there's so many different personalities that all have found success in just sharing their love and their experience with a product that, has a great track record. The company has a great reputation. We have heard rumbles over the last year, different direct sales companies. My heart just cries for those women that have had a passion to share that company's products. And now their compensation is completely changed. And Shawna, you were on the call yesterday no, you weren't. Okay. So, Shawna and I are both leaders in the direct sales company called LeBri Pure and Natural. And our vice president just kind of shared her heartfelt, sorrow for the companies that are drastically changing their profit plan and impacting a lot of families and those women and their business. And she said, I want to assure you that we are not going anywhere as a company, and that, there's a reason why Linda and Brian, the founders of LeBri, sacrificed to make sure that there weren't investors involved, and that they had that experience of, being top achiever and earning a car and the trips and living that life of luxury, and then literally going to zero as their income. And because they experience that, they have such a heart for making sure that their company is debt free. It is solid. It's not going anywhere. And the way they've managed it with slow, steady growth is to their benefit and our benefit as consultants and team members. So, Shawna, thank you so, so much for coming on and just sharing your story. If people want to get a hold of you, we're going to put Shawna's information in the show notes, Instagram. You can email her, because the cool thing about when you connect with someone, right? And you may have a connection with Shawna and you're like, oh my gosh, I homeschool. I would love some samples from Shawna. That's the beauty of direct sales, is we all help each other to grow and to achieve and to dream bigger, and for many of us to wake up and start dreaming. So thank you again, Shawna. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me. I've enjoyed it. It's been fun to kind of think back through all the changes and all the great things.
Exactly. So until next time, we encourage each and every one of our listeners to wake up and dream.
Thank you so much for joining us. Before you go, do us a favor and follow our podcast.
If this episode inspired you, be sure to take a screenshot and share it on your social media.
And check us out on Instagram at Wake Up and Dream Podcast. And join us in our free Facebook group of the same name to continue this discussion. Be sure to tune in every Monday for another episode. And until next time, wake up and dream.